Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard, and I will be your anchor for this week. Before we dive into the topic we have this week, I'd like to quickly say, if you like to know one or two things about this community, Life for Living Well, you can find it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. If you do like to write to me about any of the topics that you have listened to or read through this platform, you can also contact me through our contact me forms on the website, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. If you also like to get weekly articles and newsweek that will release through the people that already sign up and subscribe to it, you can join those group of amazing people as well and sign up on our website. Then you'll be able to receive weekly articles regarding all the topics that we present every week. Also, if you like to see our video blog, you can also check it out on the YouTube. And if you just type Life and Living Well, it will bring you straight to our channel, and then you'll be able to see some of those podcasts that we also have in the video blog. So let's dive into the topic we have today, and I'm going to make it a bit more shorter than the previous one. Okay, so this week is the concluding part of what we started last week. Last week we looked into the benefit of intrinsic interpersonal relationship. So when we develop relationship with ourselves, within ourselves first, before we're reaching out to the outside world. So today we'll be looking more into how do we build the intrinsic interpersonal relationship, because sometimes we might think that some people are born with it and why some people are not, but that's not true. It's an habit, it's a way of life that we can also learn and cultivate and make it become our part and parcel of ourselves. So as we normally do, we normally use one inspirational individual and build the whole topic based on what the person taken from the person quotation. So we continue from the same person we used last week, and again is someone called Sukant Ratnaka. So what does it say? So they put it this way: if you are upset by someone's behavior, this only means that you have to work on yourself before you try to correct the other person. So if what other people do so destructive for your mental health, so destructive for your peace of mind, to the point that you are unable to eat, you're unable to sleep, you constantly daze, reminding yourself how they say it, what they say. So that's an opportunity for you to see that there's a work for you to do within yourself, because it is easy for someone outside of you to disrupt your inner peace, because what is within you shouldn't be so affected by things outside of you. You can be disturbed by a lot of things, but to the point that it breaks you down completely, that's an opportunity for you to work on yourself. So this platform is all about taking accountability, being responsible for our own actions and behavior, and then being able to be so confident and courageous to confront it. So that's the purpose of Life for Living Well. So people that live well, you don't want to live all your life by putting yourself in a prison, protecting yourself from the outside world, protecting yourself from others so that they don't touch or hurt you. So the more purpose is to take the power back, is to empower ourselves, is to encourage ourselves, knowing that even when everything around us is coming to, it will never be able to take our inner peace away from us. So to follow up on the previous topic that we looked into last week regarding the benefit of intrinsic interpersonal relationships. So we say, okay, today, this week, let's look into how can one build the skills to eventually reap its reward. Because everything that we build, everything that we use in a way that make a change to ourselves or to the outside world, it also comes with a lot of benefits that are attached to it. So we looked at the benefit last week, but we didn't cover how can we build this way of life, because everything that require you to follow some process, follow some routine is a way of life. So, and what you put your energy to will determine where your mind and your soul is put all your energy into. So let's dive into it. So let's explore paths to develop this new habit, so which can facilitate the personal growth. So like I said earlier, all this platform is all about is personal growth. And there's way people grow is by practicing it. You cannot just grow by thinking it. You cannot just grow by imagining it alone. You have to take steps. You have to take steps. You have to practice what you say you're going to practice. Sometimes you will fall back. Sometimes you won't feel to do it. You will be so demotivated, but when you focus on the process, just the process, it will encourage you and it become things that you can really make the difference to your life. So the good news is that nobody is born with these skills. It is developed within environment one grows up in. So it depends where you grow up. If you're a fortunate one that you have individuals that have worked on themselves and they've created a foundation that help you to grow, but that is certainly few people in the world that can actually say they have this kind of opportunity. Majority of the people will fall into another group where they are not in control, they don't contribute, it is not the fault of their own. The environment, the family, the school, the kind of thing that they grow up with. But what they cannot no longer claim is to continue to claim powerless. When you are becoming adult, it's just making your job more harder. So you go to focus on how you be parenting yourself. And how you reparenting yourself is to also firstly be intentional. What is it that you want to be, or what kind of person you want to be? And you're not just thinking about it, you're becoming it. And how do you becoming it? You live it. And when you live something, people begin to see the impact of it with you. So the good news, like I said, is no one is born with these skills. It's something that everybody grow up to learn, practice, and it become norms. So we are all like a rough diamond. And there's no diamond in this world that doesn't go through a process. So the process for us is unshedding the skin that we're born with, unshedding the habit and behavior, unshedding the mindset, unshedding the beliefs, limited beliefs that we carry from childhood to our adult life. That because we are particular gender, this is what we can only do. Because we have this particular color, this is what we can only do. Because the people around us can only do this, so we can only do this. So this is the reason why this particular platform is challenging you to think different, to live different, to focus that no matter how you live long in this life, it's still going to be short life, but you You have more opportunity to explore life when you live to the fullest of life, when you are no longer put yourself in a particular labor or put yourself in a prison so that you can protect yourself from the outside world. So for those who have developed this habit, their environment, education, upbringing have solidified their growth. So it contributes a lot for them. This cannot be said for those lacking in these crucial habits. So why those different data set? As only few people, majority of people fall into the group where the environment do not contribute to it for them. The exposure do not contribute to them. The education do not contribute to them. Someone that have fear of death, someone that have a poverty mindset, is something that come right from their environment. Maybe they say their parents struggle with money or always fighting because of money, and you develop this poor mindset. So what happens? You think that if you are so greedy, if you are so selfish, you will never be poor. That is wrong. That's why the end result is more justified to the process. So people do everything to acquire it, and at the end they end up very unhappy, and they create a lot of monster out of those things. So let's look at a few practical steps we can adopt, facilitate, that will help us to grow this habit within ourselves. Number one, no matter what, we need to be intentional. Someone said, don't think of being a good person, become one. It's a wise word. What that sage was saying is, you live it. You're no longer thinking how a good person should be. You become one. Another sage from Chinese said that when you meet someone that full of bad character, it is actually very quick to condemn, to judge them, but that's the moment you pause. You look into yourself. What is bad within yourself? We don't do that. We blame everybody for all our problems. We blame the politicians, we blame our teacher, we blame our parents, we blame our employer, we blame our bosses, except ourselves. But when you meet someone that their dark side was so obvious to you to see, that's the moment you pause and you look into your own dark side. So what the sage was trying to say is not pretending that you don't see the bad side. It's not pretending that you don't condemn the bad side. It's to use that opportunity that you find another person to look also in yourself. Because what irritates you about that person, you also have something that irritating others about yourself. So, number one, be intentional. It is impossible to achieve anything tangible, meaningful, without being intentional about it. Without wanting to live some kind of life and behave in a certain way. It's not wearing, this one is totally different from wearing a mask. Claiming to be what you are not. So many people talk about what they want to do or think about doing it one day. So when you are intentional, you identify challenges and possibilities, considering how you want to approach them. So being intentional sets you up and put the meaning to what you're actually doing. If you decided to get up early in the morning, you not just say, I'm going to get up early in the morning. You become specific about it. I'm going to get up every 6 o'clock a.m. every day. And I'm going to start doing this, that. So that takes me now to number 2. Number 2, setting goals. There's kind of people, or many people, they have ideas, dreams, goals in their mind, in their heads. But what is make them so interesting individual is if you ask them next day, they have a different goals. The following day, they have a different goals, because each of these goals is floating in their mind as they come by. But to actually achieve things that we want to achieve, it is important to write our goals down. And goals that you've written down, you have more chances to implement it, to fulfill it. It's like a roadmap. And each step that you take, you are getting close to your aim. And each day you work on these goals. Not work on it when you feel inspired. Not work on it when you feel like it. Even when you wake up and you do not want to do it, you remind yourself. Number 1, be intentional. Your intentionality is the force that beyond your goals. And the goals you've written down, you are compelled to make it, to work on it. Till your psyche so sharp up that you cannot stop working on it. So a written goal has more potential to manifest. Why it is encouraging to dream big, exercising definite goals and purpose is crucial. It is impossible to make things happen if we don't write our goals down. If you want to buy a house, don't just say, I want to buy a house. Visualize what kind of house you want to buy. Write it down. When do you want to move to the house? Which area you want to find the house? You reach out to the estate agent. You check their website. You say the property they have. You determine how much you want to spend. So these are the things that you put into having a goal to buy a house. So it is your goals, but it requires few steps that you need to take. How much you need to put down, how much you currently have in savings. Do you need to increase your savings? Do you need to be patient to wait for another 12 months before you go for it? If you even book to go and view the house that you want to buy, to see whether you feel yourself in it. So many successful individuals only dream, but not only dream, but also write down their goals. I have not met anyone that have been successful in their chosen field that they do not write their goals down. I've not met one. You'll be so surprised that they have notebooks where they put paintings down, and they put a particular time when they want that thing to happen. And when it happens, it's not necessarily will happen exactly how they write it down, but they do happen. They might happen a few months after or even years after. But they look back and say, I wrote this. One of these popular actors, before they even make names for themselves, before they even got a role, they wrote a check that they will be able to cash in 10 years' time of $1 million, and they give it to themselves. Guess what? Exactly 10 years later, they were able to cash $1 million to their own in their own names. I'm not quite sure that is $1 million or more, but what I'm trying to say is that that's the power of vision. That's the power of dream. That's the power of writing down your goals. But they didn't just write the check and went back to sleep or going to do something different. I have a friend that told me that they want to triple their income between certain year to another year. So it's a 1 year period. So I asked, how will you do that with your current income? He said, wow, I'm not just relying on my salary to do that alone. I'm going to increase my income. And I said, how are you going to do that? And they told me I can also offer my service as a freelance during my own spare time. And I'm also working on my creative project. And I'm saying that I can increase my income. So they didn't triple their income. They double and half their income within the period of 6 months. It's amazing what people can do. And you'll be surprised when you start writing your goals down. When you start taking the right step, you will see the changes that you want to make to happen in your life. So, number 3, look for role models. Today, we live in a world where technology are making everybody look like an expert. Just because I can publish a material on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and I have few people listen and follow, does that make me an expert in the field? Certainly not. So if you need a counselor or therapy, you have to book a session with the therapist. If you need a financial advice, you have to book a session with a financial advice. But today, it takes a lot to filter out the qualified individual and individual that offer the opinion, because the soundbite is so sound good and many people jump to it. So, in this case, choosing a role model is even more easier today than before. But many successful people, they do have a role model that they meet in their business network or even the home that they grow up with. Maybe one of their siblings or their parents. But today, if you want a millionaire as a role model, all you have to do is if they offer a seminar where they speak about business growth, book yourself in to have the opportunity to listen to them. If you cannot avoid that, grab the book that they've written about what you like to know. You will end up having so many role models in different areas if you just grab the book they've written and try to see life through their experience. You'll realize that what you're going through now is not unique to you alone. How they navigate it may work for you, may not work for you, but it will empower you to realize that your story can also be inspirational to others. And lastly, be accountable. I put this to the last because one of the things that you become to do when you embrace intrinsic interpersonal relationship habit into your life, you will find it difficult to blame everyone outside of you for every damn thing that happened in your life. You will recognize straight away the role you play in it. You will know that you're not always innocent. If you wanted to wake up at 6 and spend 2 hours of the day to work on yourself, whether do exercise, whether work on your writing, whether working on your coding, whether working on reading books, and you didn't do that, it will be difficult to say, oh, I went to bed late. So the question is, why did I go to the bed late? And you become accountable by taking responsibility and say that I did not want to do it. Why you did not want to do it? So this begin to open more questions, and then you begin to dive in down to look for the answer. So taking responsibility requires a different mindset, as many people often blame others for their difficulties. When you have developed intrinsic interpersonal relationships, you no longer blame others. Instead, you act and are honest about your contributions. These are the things that we begin to do. Begin to take responsibility for our own actions, for our own behavior. However, when you begin to implement many of the suggested points above, you are not only clearing your physique, but also making changes evident to all. When you begin to live this kind of life, people around you will begin to see the difference. The impact you have on them will be so enormous. The impact you have on yourself will be so enormous. So it is easier to influence others when they are accustomed to a certain way of interaction. So lastly, the time and effort invested in making these changes will be noticed by others. Your change is just around the corner, and others will also observe the positive impact on them. So I'm encouraging you to create and learning new things. It will take time. Changing your life will take time. So be patient and show compassion, being compassionate to yourself. And the results will come. And when that result comes, you are not only just be the one benefiting it, you will also help a lot of people. So I hope this message helps someone. And as we bring it to the end, I do say, if you like to know or read about the article about this podcast, you can check it out on our website. We release article every Tuesday in the week, and you can also contribute to it by suggesting any topic that you would like us to look into. Until we meet again next week, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.